Yesterday I had this epiphany where I was just like, I got this battery in my back. I'm super motivated. It's like, and you're gonna see why. You're gonna see why. I had the whole Pistons court to myself yesterday. Um, they let me kind of run around in the arena and do what I wanted to do, and then obviously I had to make a decision. And so y'all gonna see what my decision is on what seats that I picked, if I picked any seats, how much they cost. 100% transparent. And I know that there's some people that's bothered by the fact that they get to see my lifestyle. You get an inside peek of it, and it's much more expensive. It's much more awesome. It's much more glorious and glamorous and full of life and things that I do on a daily basis and the money that I spend and the cars that I have and all of that stuff. So you get an inside look at it. And I kind of was talking about how more men are feminine than ever before, considering that it's so many guys that be dusty, but then they be feeling some type of way when they see you win. And instead of looking at it as motivation, they look at it as a problem or as an issue or something like that. But I had this epiphany yesterday as I was running around inside of the Pistons arena, inside of Little Caesars Arena, and I just wanted more. I was just like, you know what? It's more to life. It's got to be more than life, than the cars and all of this stuff. And I just want more. And I made up in my mind that within the next 3.5, 4 years, I want to buy a plane. I want to buy a plane. Yes, I want to buy a plane and I want to completely eliminate having to travel commercially. Now, this is not something that I need. This is not something that is required. This is not something that, I absolutely have to have or anything like that. But this is something that is a dream of mine. And I think that in order to motivate ourselves, we have to look at where we're at and then we have to put that carrot in front of our face. And that's the thing that's going to motivate you. That's the thing that's going to push you. That's the thing that's going to drive you. That's the thing that ultimately gets you to the point where you get to explore what your true potential is. When we were growing up, man, and when we were raising a hood, we didn't know nothing outside of Cedar Point. We wasn't thinking about no Florida. We wasn't thinking about nothing like that. We thought that Florida and all of the places in Florida was just a retirement home. We thought that that's what people did when they retired in order to change the seasons and then they came back up during the summertime. That's all we knew Florida for being. We never thought about traveling outside of Michigan. We never really thought about traveling outside of our hood. We know that we can go to Cedar Point. When my father took me back to the place that he was born in, down in Dawson, Georgia, I was like, send me back to Michigan because all of these houses is stick houses. They standing up on stilts. It's a bunch of lizards walking around. Y'all out here gardening and stuff like that. And it's muggy. I was like, man, I ain't trying to be out here. Went back to Michigan. We wanted a Cadillac or a Lincoln. We wanted a stankin' Lincoln or a Lack. And then you had dreams of putting some Daytons on your Caprice Classic or your Buick Regal or your Monte Carlo SS. Get you a couple chicks here and there. Get a job in a plant, some A-plant papers, and you good to go. You good. That's all we wanted. And then it blew my mind when my father sent me to private school for 2 years, even though we were still in the hood, and he sent us to private school for a couple years, because I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You telling me that people got they chilling over here and they talking about portfolio? What is a portfolio? He said his daddy is putting them together a portfolio. And then I went to a party, um, out in the suburbs and stuff like that. And this chick, she had like a little party because UAD Jesuit guys, often at times was always interested in the Mercy girls. So UAD was an all boys school. The Mercy part was the all girls school. And I went to my first party. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, her parents was out of town. She was staying with her aunt who was super young, and it was a white girl. And it was the biggest house I had ever seen in my entire life. It was the biggest house I had ever seen in my entire life. Room after room after room after room. And I was like, this is crazy. And then that's when the wheels start turning. That's when the wheels start turning. I was like, wait a minute. You telling me that I don't have to label myself as a black-owned business? You telling me I ain't got to only own a laundromat? You telling me that I can do more than play basketball? You telling me that we can do more than play football? Hold on. You telling me that your daddy ain't never picked up a microphone in his life to rap a lyric or sing some country music, and he living in here? Wait. You telling me that Dan Gilbert, for example, shout out to Dan Gilbert over at Quicken Loans, one of the people that is doing some of the greatest things inside of the city of Detroit. You telling me that Dan Gilbert is richer than all of the players that he bought the team from the Cavaliers? And he only like 5'1", 5'2"? Wait. You telling me that Matt Ishba did some of the same things that Dan Gilbert is? Now, Dan Gilbert owned the Cleveland Cavaliers and Quicken Loans. Wait, Matt Ishba owns the Phoenix Suns. He's building the biggest house in Michigan over in Bloomfield Hills. And he ain't never really cared about doing those sports. And he hiring all his former classmates from Michigan State University to work for him over there at United Warehouse Mortgage. I gotta figure it out. It's gotta be some money in here for me. It's gotta be some money in here for me. Ain't no way in the world you can tell me that we have to limit ourselves. And for the people in the chat, I know that Rocket Mortgage, yes, Quicken Loans is owned by Rocket Mortgage, 100%. For the people in the chat, now I know we play around with each other, and I know we go back and forth when we always talking about, oh man, Anton is this, or I go back at the liberals, and the liberals come back at the Republicans, right? And the liberals come at the conservatives, and the conservatives go at the Democrats, and all of that stuff. And we go back and forth. And I know it's a lot of self-hate that's in the black community, and that sometimes that even shows itself inside of my chat. I know that we sit here and we talk about, who bald-headed and who got hair, who against who and who got what relationship ain't working, and what's going over there with Khloe Kardashian or something like that, right? I know we get distracted by Kanye West's latest rants. I know we sitting here talking about whether or not Omarion were an A cup or a B cup on a Millennium Tour. But what I'm telling you is that all of that stuff is a distraction from what's really happening. And what we really need to do is put away all of the BS. And I'm not talking about just the black community. I'm talking about people that are aligned and going in the direction that we're going in. We need to put away all of the BS. You coming at me and you mad at me because I got the microphone and you feeling some type of way. But what I'm telling you is that ain't going to get you no richer. And it ain't going to get me no richer by sitting here arguing back and forth with you in the chat. It's entertaining. It's fun. I always like to include the chat. But when we going to grow up and stop having dumb conversations is fun. It's entertaining. But that needs to be the 10% of what we talk about. And why are we not focusing on the other 90%? The reason that I love the Bag Chasers, the reason that I love the Patreon is because we get straight to the money. We get straight to what it is, the receipts, how it is that we can share information. We got the Discord that leapsfrog off of the Patreon. That link is in the Discord, is attached to any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. And we can get straight to the money. We so focused on the dumb stuff. Y'all so focused on whether or not you like me or you hate me. Is the information useful so that you can then leverage it so you can make your family better and you don't have to worry about student loans for your son or your daughter? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Because when I was sitting there and looking at this dude that was wearing Florshams, I wasn't worried about whether or not his shoes was shiny or not. I was trying to figure out how he got to where he got to where it didn't matter whether or not he wore Florshams around his circle and his group. We so used to tearing each other down and sitting here whining and complaining about the stuff that don't matter. It's people that subscribe to me that jump into my chat every single morning, and the highlight of their day is if I can call out their name and say, hey man, you a little dusty. Oh, let me hold you accountable. And I do it because it's a part of the show and it's entertaining. But my question is, at what point do you, because I'm already there mentally. If I say, yo, I want to buy a jet, you know how small-minded you have to be to say, man, you ain't going to get no jet. You know how small-minded we have to be, how petty and stupid and ignorant that we have to be inside of the community. Instead of saying, well, if you get a jet, then I can get a jet, and you tell me the information so that I can leverage it and also be able to capitalize off of it. You know how small-minded you have to be mad at somebody else's dreams and what they aspire to be, especially if they're doing it legally and doing it the right way. You know how dumb we have to be and how ignorant and stupid and how much of a crabs in the barrel mentality. Let me tell you something. Whether you Democrat, Republican, independent, liberal, or conservative, me helping you get a bag so that you can take care of your family, does not hurt me. And if you tell me that you got a dream to do something great, and it could be a small dream, you could want to pay off all of your debt, you could want to own your house outright, you could want to take care of your mother, you could want to get married or whatever. If it's good and it's wholesome for you, why would I stop you? Why would I hate you? Why would I pray against you? Why would I put out any negative energy towards you when you're trying to do something productive for your daughter, your son, your family? You're trying to leave a legacy. Why are we so small-minded when it comes to the things that are good and fruitful? We can argue about politics. We can debate about whether or not you like this politician. We can sit here and go back and forth about whether or not it makes sense for you to buy this car or that car. But when it comes to things of productivity, how come we can't be objective enough to put our differences aside and say, you know what, but when you help this person, it benefits me in this way. And how can I leverage that? Or when I see good information, how can I benefit from that? Because make no mistake about it, I could absolutely disagree with what you say, but I can 100% leverage what it is that you did to get to where you got to. I don't care for Magic Johnson, but for me to sit here and say whether or not he raised his son the way that he raised his son and have that conversation versus whether or not he has great business acumen, I have to be able to separate the two. And I can praise you in one thing and absolutely disregard or not like you in this other thing, but I need to be able to get that information so that I can be successful. No way in the world that I'm going to sit here and remove myself from being able to leverage the information of how he got super rich versus being mad at the fact that he raised his son a certain way. Two things can be true at the same time, and we need to learn how to multitask. We have to learn how to multitask. Y'all so busy being bitter and evil about something that you cut off your nose to spite your face. It's not productive. It doesn't benefit you. It's not going to add no value into your life. And I'm telling you, you can hold somebody accountable while at the same time acknowledging their greatness and the thing that they're great at. You 100% can. And we so small-minded. We think that only thing that we can do is look at one thing one way, and that's the only way that it got to be. No, you can use two. Two things can be true at the same time. Three things can be true at the same time. Four things can be true at the same time. 100%. 100%. Oh, I don't like him, so I'm not going to watch him. Your loss? Man, my girl is mad that you said this. So what? Who agrees with 100% of everything that everybody says? Name me one person that you know in your life you agree with 100% of what they say. Is the information useful? Is the information useful? Are you more worried about the vessel than you are about the message and the information that's going to change your life? I don't have time to hate on anybody that is being productive and great at what they do because that serves me none. It serves me none. We got to elevate. We got to elevate. We got to grow. We have to grow. If you don't think that I have friends that are liberal and they may think differently than me, but when we get together and we do business, because it's not like they're doing nothing illegal. So what? You voted for Kamala Harris and I voted for Trump. I lost in the 2020 election. Regardless of whether or not we want to paint it a certain type of way, I lost. Guess what? I still had to live life and get on. I didn't curl up and die. I didn't do nothing. I didn't cut off all of my friend groups. I didn't do none of that stuff. We figured out how to get to the money and how to leverage the information or what was happening during that particular 4 years so that we can get richer. And guess what? We're going to figure out how to get richer regardless if it's a conservative in office or if it's a liberal in office. But I be got, don't get me to cussing. I know that this is a family show because I ain't going to cuss. But I be got dog if I'm sitting here waiting on somebody else to validate me and then cut off my own blessings because I don't necessarily like who won the election. So wait a minute, you telling me that you're not going to invest or you're not going to get this money, you're not going to leverage the information, you're not going to run up a bag because you feeling some type of way? Are you stupid or are you dumb? Are you stupid or are you dumb? I believe in chasing the bag in all seasons. In all seasons. Absolutely, I'm going to chase the bag in all seasons. 100%. We got to start figuring out how we can be objective enough and put our differences aside when it means the most, when it matters the most. Don't get caught up in this nonsense. Don't be so distracted while everybody is getting all to the money and you distracted by whether or not Big U or Yella Beezy and them. I mean, we do this story because we want to make sure that we address what's happening in the culture, but let's spend the rest of our 98, 99% of the time on the things that's going to get us rich. Because me having a conversation extensively about that ain't putting no money in my pocket don't help me. It don't put my daughter through college at all. We have to be intentional. We have to be smart. We have to go about doing things the right way. So you can be bitter. You can be angry, but be bitter and angry and get money at the same time. All Anton do is talk about money. What we gonna talk about? What you want to talk about? All Anton do is talk about money. What we here for? If we not here to get to the bag, what we doing? We twiddling our thumbs. We making each other look good. We having a good time, that's why I don't get involved in these pro-black conversations or this because they just talking. After you get done with your community meeting and you get done riling everybody up, then what? That's why I don't get caught up in all of these church conversations and going in there, because after you get done with your community meeting and you get done riling everybody up, now you still got to go home. What is the actionable steps that allow for you to be able to change the dynamics of your family? If we don't get to something that actually benefits you, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get into a meeting. Let's put the medicine inside of the candy, and if it's nothing fruitful that come out of it, and the only thing that we did was say, hey, praise God, or hey, let's pass the collection plate, or hey, we don't like white people, FBA, this and that, and this and that. Okay, what did that do to change your life? Because all it did was make you angry and you still broke at the end of the day. If I can't empower you to help yourself to put some more money in your pocket and the only thing that you're doing is just riling everybody up, what benefits do it have that come along with it? Because I'm not going to no meeting just to go to no meeting. I don't even like meetings in corporate America. I'll be like, what's this meeting about? Decline. If we just talking, miss me with that. Miss me with the nonsense. I'm not about to sit here and talk to y'all for the next 50 years about reparations. I'm about to go and get this money. You waiting on somebody to give you something? It's a jet out there waiting for me, and they ain't stopped making them. Airbus is still creating jets. Gulfstream is still making jets. Somebody buying them. What he doing? Because see, while you mad at rich people, eat the rich. They be like, They daughters be living good. It be people on TikTok talking about my budget this month to club was $78,000 showing their receipts. They not getting eaten. The rich is not getting ate up. I tell you this right now. You stood out there and protested. They increased their net worth while you was out there burning down your own neighborhood. They not getting ate. They doing good. They doing better than ever. 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then 25. At the end of the day, they all got richer. When you was out there talking about it and protesting, they was out here getting richer. Okay, wait a minute. All right, so we doing something wrong. What we doing? We gonna sit here and still talk? Wait, y'all still protesting? Didn't y'all protest in 2008 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12? You was outside with your sign, and 15 and 16, and you was protesting against Chevy, and then you protested against Tesla, and everybody still was rich at the end of the day. Wait a minute. You know what? This ain't working. This ain't working. Where the money at? They still make Gulfstream ain't went out of business. They still selling jets. That means somebody buying them.